Hey guys, Skyner here from The Roost, coming to you today to talk to you guys about my newest series. I'm super excited about it, called Inside the Mind of a Smasher. It's basically where I go around interviewing Smash players who are in the competitive scene. They're kind of in their top PR range. It's just a way to show you guys what they think, how they feel about certain matchups, their experiences of Smash, how they get started, that kind of stuff. And it's also a way for any newer players who are confused about the game or thinking about choosing their characters to try and figure out and find out who they want to play as. Today, with my very first interview, is Vash from Las Vegas. Super pumped and excited to be able to get to talk to him. And I'm going to put his social media in the description down below for you guys. So in case you want to follow him, give him some love. I know he'd definitely appreciate it. Be sure to check him out. He's super awesome. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and just share it with your friends. I would super appreciate it. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is Skyner the King. I'm going to also be putting this on Smashboards, and if you guys are interested, I'm going to be putting my Discord channel down below. So in case you guys want to hit me up, chat, whatever, feel free. So without further ado, we're just going to get pumped, and we're going to get started for this interview. Thanks for watching. First off, what's your name?
My full name would be, that's Anthony Martinez.
Great.
No middle name.
And, what's your gamer tag?
My gamer tag is just, Vash. V as in Victor, A-S-H.
And, do you have any sponsors right now?
I do actually. I have a sponsor, from Power Up Gaming. It's a local, gaming lounge here in Las Vegas. One of the more popular ones now. They kind of started off, I think it was like late last year, and they kind of just grown to really successful actually. Like it's basically the place to be now for Smash.
Okay. And so first with this, I just want to see, how did you get involved with Smash Brothers in the first place? How did it all begin for you?
Well, Smash has always kind of been in my life, to be honest, and a lot of people don't know that. So like when 64 came out and everyone saw that commercial of like the costume guys beating each other up, I played it since then, and I actually at first was only like playing for fun, like most people would.
Mm-hmm.
But when Melee came out, I played that excessively. I actually ended up playing competitively too at like 2006 for Evo. I actually joined that tournament. I made it pretty far playing as Marth. So I had a lot of experience. I think I broke into top 64 and then I got knocked out.
Wow.
But it was like when I was like 12 or something. I can't remember the exact age, but I was really young and I had no idea what I was doing necessarily. I was just playing.
Okay.
But it was the year right before they stopped having Melee at Evo because Brawl came out. But yeah, I've been playing for a while, but I kind of stopped playing Smash after that point until Smash 4 came out. And that's when I picked it up again.
Gotcha. So you mentioned now that you're playing Smash 4, which is the most current, recent edition of Smash Brothers. Who's your current main, and do you have any secondaries as well?
I do have both. So basically, my main right now is Little Mac, the Rough Life.
The People's Champ.
Yeah, the People's Champ, right? He's probably like one of my favorites. He was like one of the characters when I saw him get announced and the trailer and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited to play him. Like, he looked like he had a lot of trouble from the weaknesses they showed, like recovering, which honestly isn't as bad as they made it seem. And it looked like he wouldn't be able to get zoned out too much because he had like his side B, for example.
Right.
Like give him invincibility at startup for certain projectiles, and he just goes over them. So when I saw him, I was like, okay, this is the character I want to play. But he wasn't actually the first one I actually played. I actually played Mega Man for a little bit, and then I switched to Little Mac. But that was because of the demo days. In the demo, you can play Little Mac.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I do have a secondary. Right, there's a little bit of like I don't know if controversy is the right word, but I got a lot of opinions from people as of late about like picking up a higher tier character or
right.
Experimenting a little bit. So right now I'm actually learning Sheik.
Okay.
Yeah, even though there was a nerf on Sheik, I still believe that she's just as good as she is. I just think there's less mistakes and it's harder to use her.
Right.
but you can still bring out, the best in that character, and it seems to be working out right now so far. It's not something that I would probably whip out anytime soon, just because I think my little mech is just significantly better. Doesn't make sense to switch to a secondary if they can't perform as well.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But I do have Sheik, and potentially I might work on a Mario, but that's just like behind the scenes.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's more or less just just a little bit of added protection basically for the future. Just
Yeah, in case I run like if because I don't like doing the ditto.
oh yeah.
I really dislike doing the ditto. So if it came down to it, I'd probably switch to Sheik for the ditto, not because I think Sheik is like good against Mac. I think it's very even, but I think a lot of people don't know that it's even, so it'd be easier to like win those matchups with Sheik.
Gotcha. Understandable. Um okay, so what's what was one of your most current placings? You are a competitive Smash player, is that correct?
Yes, I would say that.
And what would you say what was your most recent tournament and what's been like your highest achievement that you've really just been super proud of so far?
It's actually one the like I wouldn't say the most recent, but it pretty much is the highest placing tournament that I've done, and compared to size, was ninth place at 2GG Fresh Saga. I was one game away from breaking into top eight, but that would be my highest. But the one that was right after that was Level Up, but I didn't do too well at Level Up. A lot of people at Vegas kind of just busted out that day.
Gotcha.
We all kind of just laugh about it. But yeah, I would say that ninth place is the highest I've made in that regional or national, whatever it was.
Very cool. So what's one of the struggles that you really have as being a Little Mac player? What would you say is something that's pretty hard for you to overcome?
You mean just as a player, or for the character for the
As
player?
well as both, really.
Okay, that's a pretty good question. So I think one of the things that people don't realize with Mac, um, as a character, yeah, like you don't really want to fight him like directly. It's kind of like a small version of Bayonetta. I believe like Bayonetta forces people to play differently. Every character in the cast has to play differently against it. 'Cause
Absolutely.
if not, yeah, you can get carried off the top, whatever the case is. With Little Mac, it's very similar, but it's not as like present, I guess you can say. It's not as like dominant,
Hmm.
but you just have to. You can't challenge him too much, and you have to really focus on the gambling game. You can't try to be like, oh, I'm gonna try to kill him from the top or kill him from the side naturally. You always want to go for the gimp, and that's why people put him on like such a low tier on the tier list,
Hmm.
just because of the character itself. Like that's his biggest weakness is his recovery, and a lot of people or a lot of the characters in the game can actually gimp him really easily. Like you just have to know that one thing that that character has, and then you can just completely just block him out. But that's like very character specific. For me personally, the hardest thing, like the weakness for me, is probably dealing with people who jump a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Why is jumping a lot your biggest problem?
I kind of realized it at the very last tournament at Level Up here in Vegas. I had to play a Shulk main, really good Shulk, really good Shulk, but he was always in the air, and I just couldn't do anything as far as like punishing. It was very difficult for me to land hits in because he doesn't have good air game, and with the character like Shulk, his aerials outspace mine. So if I went up there with like a fair up air or anything like that, I could just get beat out.
Gotcha.
And if I went for like let's say an up B, I could win the situation, but I would have to land it. So it was just too much risk because if I missed it, then I'd get heavily punished, and it's not worth at like a last hit, last stock type of thing.
Understandable.
So it's just very difficult for Little Mac, and probably just for me too, to be able to punish people if they're constantly in the air, which
Gotcha.
is just too difficult.
Aside from a weakness of yours, what would you say is your greatest strength as a player and with your character?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is mentality. I think that kind of bring like a mind game to the table when I play people, and I don't think I think it catches people off guard. Like one of the things that I like to do in like a high stress situation is like I'll just walk up and then jab and then run behind you and jab, like something silly like that just wouldn't be like, I guess, the
Common.
most obvious. Yeah, common. Like it wouldn't be the most common thing that you would see, but I'll usually do things like that to force an approach or to force an option from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if once you recognize. I feel like as a player, and this works for anybody, I feel like once you recognize that you and the opponent is in like in a high pressured situation, the most random option is one of the best options to do.
Yeah, because it just throws them off their game pretty much.
Yeah, it just completely just changes the formula.
Gotcha. Who would you say is do you have a mentor, or is there any kind of person that you look up to in the Smash Brothers community?
Absolutely, actually. There's my local community personally. I look up to, I would say, Foe, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and Z. They both helped me a lot. Lycan too. They're basically like the top 3 PR members here in Vegas. They've showed me a bunch of different things. It's kind of weird. Like Lycan, he showed me kind of like I want to say like the defensive way to play.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of showed me the aggressive side, and then Freddie kind of showed me the mentality side. So I look to them as players for like those specific areas, and I kind of just like incorporate not necessarily what they do, but what I've learned to be the best options from what they have done themselves, right?
Right, and which then those apply to your character from there.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I think like if I were to talk like in the whole world, probably one of the people I look up to is Void. Just his style and his mentality that he applies to his character, I think it's like phenomenal.
Awesome. Okay, so before we wrap up here, I just have a quick question for you. Do you have any kind of advice for newer Smash players who want to get into the scene, but are a little shy about it and they don't know which character choices to choose and things like that? What would you have? What kind of advice would you have for newer players?
Actually, honestly, it's probably going to be like a really bad answer. But like one of the best things that I've ever tell people in that situation, because I see that a lot, is literally just to play the game and like not to have any expectations going into it, and force yourself in that environment of like a tournament setting. A lot of people I hear like they want to get good enough before they start going.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you're just not going to get there unless you put yourself in the situation, right? It's like the gym. Like you wanna work out and you wanna get fit or get healthy. You can't do that by not actually going to the gym. You know what I mean? You have to go and put in the work.
Yeah, it makes sense. You have to step up to the plate in order to hit the ball, sort of thing.
Exactly. So that'd be one of the things that I'd say. Like if you're trying to get into the scene, trying to get in your local scene, trying to get better at the game, go ask questions, put yourself in that environment, do it as consistently as possible, and try not to expect results. Like do it strictly with a sense of learning. Because I've seen people go in thinking that they're gonna, do, let's say, this type of expectation and then get defeated
Mm-hmm.
when it doesn't happen, and then they get discouraged and they don't want to go anymore type of thing. So I feel like if you go in without that expectation and just go in with like a learning mentality, it'd probably reap the most benefits.
Great. Do you have any shout-outs before we end?
I would probably do a quick shout out to my sponsor, Power Up. They've honestly been great. Like this is like not even like a trying to sell type of thing. I basically got to where I am because of them. Like I don't financially have like an income or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been like one of the biggest supports like the entire year for me to be able to do whatever it is I'm trying to do now. As well as I'll basically just a Vegas Smash community. Like the support really came from them at first. Pollo, Gloomy, Snoop, those are the first 3 that come to mind. Z, he's a big one too. They've all kind of just really helped me out in their own ways to get to where I am today. So a big shout out to them.
Great.
Most definitely.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, Anthony. We really appreciate you taking that, and I'd like to just personally wish you the best of luck in your competitive scene, and I'm rooting for you, and you
Thanks,
are the
man.
people's champ. So,
Yeah, this is kind of fun. Let's do it again sometime.
well, thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right, you too.